This is a map painting from Star Wars. So something this complicated, extremely complicated. There's a lot of structures. There's a lot of lighting. There's bounce light. There's fill light. There's atmospheric perspective. There's glints in the metallic reflections of the surfaces on these buildings. So how do we put together a map painting like this? And it's as simple as, well, let's do image search. What city can we think of that's dense and has tall structures and that would serve as a good starting point for this shot? Well, New York City, the concrete jungle. You can see the amount of atmosphere in this photo reference here could be used really for this final map painting. And if we break it down, and let's just take out the color again, just to focus on value, the most important thing. So let's study that. All right. So we can see the value structure here. Very similar. The amount of detail, if we look at here, well, we see, okay, something that far in the distance with that much atmosphere, how much detail do we really see in the buildings? What's the contrast between the lights and the darks? That's some of the stuff that's going to drive the look of our final map painting. As you can see, the contrast between the lights and darks here, very, very, very subtle. So even more so, it's more around this range than this. But we can use the information in here to drive our map painting. You'd be like, okay, so how do we have all these, low-lying buildings in here and all the faces facing the light? Well, how does that look? Well, we can see the way we can create kind of a density to the city is all the top facing surfaces, the roofs right here. I'm just going to create a layer to paint on. They all have a bright a light hit right on top of it, so you can see, and that's what causes, or that's what makes it seem very dense, is that we have all these top facing surfaces that are getting hit by light. And the similar thing is happening here. We have all these little faces getting hit by light. The direction is coming from this way, and we can apply some of the exact same principles of this photo reference into our paintings. Another thing we could take a look at, we have a directional, this photo reference has the same directional light as the map painting. So we can see, all right, how much fill light are we getting from the sky? This is the shadow side, and how much is that fill light lighting that side compared to the value and the intensity of the lit faces? And that's something that we can, again, apply into our the final map painting. What's the value of the shadow side compared to the faces getting hit by direct sunlight? So we can cue off of real lighting here and apply it to our map painting to base our map painting in reality. This isn't just made up and guessed at. It was a careful examination of photo reference and how light affects big structures in a dense environment and then applied to the map painting. Now, if we take a look, I'm not sure if this photo reference has any metallic objects in it to show how that reflects in sunlight, but it may be something, there's a lot of buildings in New York that are glass or have metal on it that you can see, okay, how does light react when hit by direct sunlight? How does that surface react when hit by direct sunlight? The bloom and the glow and the intensity of that light. And how does fill light affect, a metallic surface, the reflections that are happening? Those are some of the things that we can key off of in our photo reference. And then if we want to get into color, okay, well, what's the color? I mean, this actually looks very close to what we have in the matte painting. I think we can, if we took a soft brush and just painted into this layer, I think we would have, let's switch my colors. We could have, a pretty close, you see how that just blends in seamlessly? Almost seamlessly, at least. And we can kind of paint that in. Like, oh, look, those are really far back. But you can see how, just by, searching for the right type of reference, we can hit this cue very easily. It doesn't have, this could look like a very complicated shot, but it's just a matter of finding the right reference for what you want your shot to look like, and kind of dissecting the essential elements out of the photo reference and applying it to our matte paintings. And we're going to go through this as we create our own cityscapes. We're going to go into, further examination of pulling that stuff out. But I want you guys to be aware of this. And again, it comes with a lot of practice of seeing exactly what makes the photo look real and applying it. So it doesn't have to be that complicated.